The Love Witch, and we are here for Tarot for Kindness. Tarot for Kindness is our weekly get together where we meet on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter, and we talk about tarot. We do tarot readings for you. We don't just talk. We're not just talk. Well, we do talk, but we do tarot readings for you. I am doing a tarot reading. I'll be doing a tarot reading, and tarot readings cost $10 per card. So you can get a 1-card reading for $10, 2-card reading for 20, 3-card reading for 30, and so on. Go up to as many cards as you want. 100% of your donations go to Subotan Harbor sorry, a little bug there, to bring groceries to seniors in Ukraine. So $40 feeds a Ukrainian senior for 2 weeks. So if you get a 4-card reading, you'd be feeding a senior for 2 weeks. What a kind thing to do. Such a good thing to do. We can't stop the things that are going on in the world, but we sure can alleviate and make somebody suffer less and actually bring a little happiness into their life. So that's what we're doing here. And every little bit counts. If you get a 1-card reading, you're adding to the beautiful experience for somebody in Ukraine who doesn't have any food, and you're bringing food to them. So it's a big deal. This is not like extras. This is like basic survival stuff that we're bringing, humanitarian aid that we're bringing to Ukraine. So I hope you will join us by getting a reading. And when you get your reading, you just need to go into chat. So you can go on Venmo or PayPal to make your donation, or in Super Chat if you are on YouTube. There's a little button down there that has a little $sign. You can go in there and make your donation. Once you make your donation, go into chat or into the comments and write how much you donated, where you donated, and then what your question is. And then we will do a reading. I will do a reading for you. Your bonus is right there. The Love Witch is going to be giving spell advice for you. So regarding your question, after I do the reading, Love Witch is going to give some suggestions on spell work that you could do that would be helpful for your situation. So you're going to get an extra little bonus. Every reading gets one card on up. So yeah. So we've already got one that donated, and that is Nina. So do we have Nina's question up?
Yep, here we go.
Oh, wonderful. Okay. My partner, Steve, his father is almost 90. He has a complex relationship with his step siblings who care for him out of state. His question is, how can he best help his father at this time? Okay, let's take a look and see. And Love Witch will give you some spell work that you can do to help with that. Okay. Alrighty. Queen of Cups energy, Queen of Cups energy. This is like pure loving. It's actually interesting because this is like a motherly kind of love, caretaking, loving, and so on. So what I'm getting a sense of for him is he doesn't have to take charge of the situation. He doesn't have to run in or even take any action per se. But what would be so helpful to his dad is to let his dad know how much he loves him, to let his dad know how much he was important in his life, right? To let his dad know how meaningful it was that he was there. So even if you have a complicated relationship, right? I think you can find the things that are the positive things, because at someone that's in their 90s is, coming toward the end of the road, right? And so they kind of want to probably know that they did a good job. Don't we all, when we complete something, want to know we did a good job? Don't we long to get some feedback? Because I think when we all look at our own lives, we see all the complexity of our lives and we think, did I do a good job? I don't know if I did a good job. I think we all think that if we look back and reflect. And certainly it's no different for somebody that's getting up in years, that they look back and they go, gosh, Did I really screw things up, or did I do a good job? So what I would say that the words that he can find that will be positive and truthful. So, like, if the dad, it sounds like the dad got remarried, their step siblings and so on. If the dad was kind of absent, it's not the time to go, really to say to them, I need to work on this. Maybe, but really what this is saying is this gentle, nurturing energy and to really speak from the heart. So don't look at the things that didn't get accomplished. Don't look at the things that where your dad failed. Look at the things where he was good, where he did do something right and good, and express those to him. Dad, you always were a great role model of hardworking, being a hard worker. And I really took that with me. Or, Dad, I know you did the best you could with what the circumstances were, right? So find, even in a difficult relationship, a complex relationship, you can emphasize and point out the things that are things that you treasure, things that you appreciate, and let them know those things that you appreciate, because I'm sure he is looking back at his life and going, gosh, why did I do the things that I did? Did I do a good job? And this will help him to connect. So it'll help Steve connect to his dad, and for that connection to be deeper and more positive, and just to, express that admiration, that love, that care, that concern. It's mothering energy. So I always think of Queen of Cups as being like the ultimate mom, like a very loving, very accepting, very nurturing. So that's what his dad needs right now. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that, Love Witch? And
Yeah,
you
for
can add
sure.
to the reading if you want to, by the way. Don't feel like you just have to do, if you're like,
Totally. Well, I think like what you were saying about that like mother energy, it's interesting, right? How like later in life we like switch roles with our parents if we had the right roles to begin with, at least. And we need to be the parent to them and like help them out the same way they helped us in. I think though, like, if he's out of state and there's a lot of distance there and there's a lot of complication within this relationship, some good things to do is just like sending energy and visualizing things for him. In the Live Magic Q&A earlier, we were talking about Reiki and how that can be effective even from really long distances. So even if your husband is just sitting and visualizing his father, visualizing these family members and picturing them really peaceful, getting along well, things getting less complicated, I think that can help. You could also work with like a heart candle, or change of heart spell kit could be a really good way to go. Maybe in like blue for healing or brown for grounding and like reestablishing those family roots. Keeping in mind, like, it doesn't always work out this way. I know in my family, it hasn't always worked out this way. But as people get near the end of their life, it can be a time to make things less complicated and a time to bury that stuff and just leave it behind, even if just for a little while. So maybe this is an opportunity to do that. And maybe it's an opportunity to do some healing that is kind of long overdue. So yeah, that's all I got to add. Or maybe working with just holy healing oil, or a holy healing perfume, or cologne rather.
yeah, yeah, that could be really good. I mean, I think of this, it's like gentleness, and it's really, even if there's like long distance, if it's possible to talk to the father on the phone, for example, or to send a letter if it's too hard to talk on the phone, but whatever communication you can, I mean, that's actually one of the things. If you can write a letter, you can also put a little sachet powder on that letter, and that could be like holy healing to heal the relationship. I think that's a lovely suggestion. Yeah, beautiful. And just to let him know the things that you do appreciate, you know? It's somehow, when we reach the end of our life, it needs to be about the person who's at the end of their life, or, coming up on it. So, yeah, so we just need to express the good things. We always have a mixed bag with any relationship. And, if it's complicated, I'm sure there's lots that you could look at and go, well, that wasn't good, or that didn't work out. But let's talk about the things that he did do right. And that will bring so much healing to the relationship. I agree. And holy healing's
Yeah.
perfect. Yeah.
And,
I love that.
I think,
The heart.
in terms of, like, once people are gone and we're thinking of, like, the things we wish we had said and the conversations we wish we had had, it's never the negative conversations. It's never like, "Oh, I wish I told you how terrible you were. I wish that I'd gotten all this off my chest." You can just deal with that on your own. You can laugh about it later, right? It's those, like you were saying, those really good things and those really sweet memories that you do wish you'd had the chance to communicate if you don't. So take some time to do them. And if there is something that's like really, really, really stuck in your craw that you do feel like you need to address, do so in a loving manner, but come at it from a place of love and from a place of healing and not from like attacking someone who's already going through
Stuck in your craw. You're is it South Carolina or North Carolina? It just
it.
came out.
North Carolina.
That's something my Tennessee grandparents would have said. Craw.
Mine too.
Do you need something? Oh, okay. My son's saying hi. I didn't know if he wanted something. All right. Who's our next one? Let's see our next one.
Let's see. Our next one
Thank you, Nina. By the way, thank
Yeah, thank
you.
you, Nina. Hope that was helpful. Here is our next one.
Okay. Unifying wisdom. I am unable to do ads for my business. Technical issue and no support. What is the best way for me to organically and successfully gain a following on Facebook for my business? Is this Chandra?
Yeah, and this was a 3-card reading.
Okay. To organically and successfully gain a following on Facebook to get my online business known. All right, let's see. Okay. Oh, super practical advice. Love it. Okay. Page of Pentacles is your first card. This totally makes sense. New business. He's looking at the coin in his hands, holding that gold coin and dreaming about his future where he's going to plant in those furrowed fields back there, those furrows in the fields. So this is about like visioning, dreaming, planning, and so on. So what I would say first is that you have to have I almost want to say when we see earth energy like this, right? Earth energy is not like groundbreaking. That's more like air signs breaking the rules and doing all of this. I don't think you have to invent anything new to organically and successfully gain a following on Facebook to get your online business known. I think you have to look at what somebody else has done before you. Look at the path that somebody else did and copy what they did, right? If you're doing a business, that's totally doable. Somebody else has had success doing this and you just copy their formula, what they did. Now, I also think that with this, it's like, how do we nurture that business and also know that this and our third card are both Pentacles cards, which mean it's going to be step-by-step growth. It is not going to be explosive overnight. All of a sudden, everything changes. It's your daily activity. So I almost want to say, like the idea of the Pentacles is always step by step. Take another step, take another step. Keep going. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, right? You've heard that saying before. This is about stepping one foot in front of the other. So this can be creating something online every day, putting something up every day. Doesn't have to be a big deal. It can be a repost. Oh, yes, it is a good news for a long and steady business. Absolutely. And our 8 of Pentacles at the end is great, right? But it's slow. It's slow. So I think we have to get into the mindset that it is not something that is going to have an explosion. It is going to be slow and steady growth, right? One step at a time. So start putting out things, putting things out there, start creating something around that. I mean, I think about like if I even look at like the things that grow on Facebook, just my own observation. And I've been around Facebook for a long time, but I'm not super active on Facebook. But what I've noticed is that pages that are created around a topic tend to attract people very much so, right? Like the pages that I belong to on Facebook are pages that have information about topics that I'm interested in. So there's one about Ukrainian embroidery, and I belong to that one. There's one about Slavic roots of Slavic magic. I follow that one. There's another one that's like old punk rock music in LA because I was there. So these are the topics that I focus on, and that's where I congregate. I don't normally follow too many businesses. Maybe if I'm supporting the business, maybe, but tend to go for information. That's me. I don't know if that's everybody or if that's how, but think about what you're attracted to. What are you following? Do you follow businesses or do you follow groups? Right? If you follow groups, then create a group that has something to do with your business, and then you'll start to attract people or make your business be about, like, have a theme or a topic. So that can be something that will attract people, right? And bring people in. That's a great way to do it. So that's the beginning. Second card is Four of Swords. Four of Swords is about visioning your business into being. So this isn't even any action. This is all spiritual work. Go into vision states as you're doing your manifestation, right? We were talking about this earlier. As you're doing your manifestation, go into meditation or go into a guided meditation where you're manifesting what it is that you want and you're visioning your business as you see it in the future. This is such good magic. We just talked about this in our incantations class last Friday. About how when you do a projection where you say, this is here now, you're sending out a projection that your life will follow, right? Imagine, like, the grappling hook on Batman. He shoots out that grappling hook, it catches on the building, and then he climbs up it, right? Your visions of the future are the grappling hook that you can then climb on. So if you don't have visions for your future, it's hard to manifest things. Even if you don't know the path to get to that vision, just the vision itself is helpful because you will innovate to get to that place. You might change your mind as you go along that path and go in a different direction. That's fine. Nothing is, you don't commit to it, but you certainly commit to the idea of it so that you can start moving toward it. So I would say do some visualization work with some guided meditations. Last thing, it's consistency day by day. This is that thing I was talking about. Eight of Pentacles is about building your money tree one coin at a time, right? He's making those coins, he's making those discs, and he's building his money tree one at a time. So I think you have to be consistent. So create a topic that people are interested in that has something to do with your business, or make your business page about a topic. Then put content on there that is interesting to people. What I don't think is interesting is ad after ad after ad. That's not going to engage me. I'm looking at myself as a consumer. I want to get something. So you have to give information. You have to share information. You have to share. It doesn't have to be that you create it. You might find a cute article or a cute meme or something like that and put those there. People follow things that they have interest in, and businesses are not usually what people are interested in. They go because they are either super passionate about what the business is doing. That could be possible, but more likely they're there to be entertained or to get information. And if you want to, create that, then create that around your business. So let's say, I'm just going to make up. Let's say your business was donuts. I know it's not donuts. You could find an article on the history of donuts and put it up there. You could find another article about Guinness World Record for the largest donut and put it there. You could then share a great donut recipe that you have, and then share a new donut that you've just launched or whatever. So you see how you mix it in. Yeah. Oh, great. Working on sharing vulnerable stories and tips on mindset. Excellent. You don't have to create it. You can find other people's stuff and share, because think of your website as being an aggregate for that information about vulnerable stories and mindset, tips on mindset. You can do that and come up with a snappy name for it, and there you go. You got it. All right. So, what kind of spell? Wonderful. Thank you, Unifying Wisdom. Thank you.
Yeah. I think I would just look at not being able to do ads as an opportunity to do other stuff, right? Like you're going to save money on ads. Good news.
Right.
And once your business is like at a larger place or at a different place, maybe you'll be able to do ads, or you can do ads in a place other than this place where you can't currently. So really don't see it as something holding you back. See it as something that's showing you toward another door. I think some really good spells you could do for this would be working with Fame and Fortune. So our Fame and Fortune oil or bath crystals or sachet powder or the vigil candle would all be a really easy way to just keep more and more people coming to your page, getting more and more followers and more people who just really adore what you're doing. If you want to work with Fame and Fortune oil on an ongoing basis, you could just apply a little bit to your body each day while you visualize those people liking your page or buying your services or whatever it is you're trying to achieve. Or you could have the vigil candle. You could get the vigil candle and burn it yourself, or have one of us burn it for you so that you've got some ongoing magic headed toward your goal. And those are great because they burn like for over 100 hours. So, that's every day you're going to get to light that candle and reconnect to your goal and vision what you really want. So I think that's just as powerful, if not more powerful, than running an ad. So I would give that a try. Or, just working with any yellow candle or any orange candle could be really great. Wear the color yellow, wear the color orange. Or if there's a color that's associated with your business, wear that. When I was starting out as the Love Witch, I surrounded myself with pink things. It's a practice I'm still doing, if you can't tell. And so really, trying to work with color magic in ways that aren't just limited to candle spells is a really good way to keep yourself reminded of what you're working on and keeping your goals in focus and surrounding yourself with it.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I love the idea of working with the vigil candle because that's one of the vigil candle's greatest assets is that you're working on something consistently over a long period of time, and that has that 8 of Pentacles energy. So it's kind of perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. Thank you. All right, Leslie. Leslie has a 4-card reading. What's Leslie's question?
Yeah, let me find the message. Just a sec.
Okay. Yeah, I love working with
Okay,
it.
it's just a work reading.
Work reading. Okay, let's see what's going on with work. Okay. All right. Oh, I love it. It's like a little story here we got with the cards. So, I can see stuff is going on at work. The reason is we've got, well, second card, but the second card really tells us something's going on at work. But the first card is the death card. Something needs to change. Something needs to change with work. When the death card shows up, we're talking about this in the tarot salon that we had for the coven members. The death card to me is not about death like an ending, like death we think of as like a dead end, like an ending, right? Like that. But it's actually a transition. You're transitioning from physical form into spiritual form, and then you'll come back in physical form again, and you'll go into spiritual form again, and so on, right? So it's not an ending, but it is what I like to call a graduation, right? My great analogy for this card is that you are graduating just like you're graduating from high school. Most of us had that experience when we graduated from high school. Please, let's see a show of hands of the people who, when they graduated from high school, decided that they were going to go right back and go to freshman year again and do the whole thing all over again because it was so fantastic and wonderful. Nobody is raising their hands right now. Wow. What a shock. Nobody goes through high school and says, I want to repeat all of those 4 years again. When you graduate from high school, you are looking forward to college or career or travel or freedom or whatever it is that is your next step, right? So the death card has that. We see that in this little tower here with the little sunrise coming up. It's like a new day is dawning, right? So you are overdue for a graduation of some kind. Graduation can be moving up into a new level, moving up into a new role, or completely leaving that job. I don't know. Whatever it is for you, you know what it is for you. But there needs to be a change and needs to be an up leveling of some kind, and you need to go onto your more expansive journey. This is what I said. Competitive environment. This tells us why. Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands is about being in a competitive environment. You can rise to the top. You can be the cream of the crop. That's not the issue. But the issue that I have some concern about is that you're in this very competitive, backbitey environment where people are, trying to nudge each other out of the way. I feel like it's almost like, a race of some kind where people are elbowing one another, trying to not only get ahead themselves, but defeat the other person. So if you're in this environment that feels like overwhelming and competitive, it does say you can succeed. So it is saying to you, though, it requires effort. It requires effort to get to that next level. Just like this guy climbed to the top of the hill, he did not climb to the top of the hill by getting dropped there by a helicopter. He had to climb the hill, he had to fight off everyone else, and then he got to the top of the hill. So it is going to require, if you stay in this environment, that you're going to have to compete with other people, but you can rise to the top. It just requires your effort. I think that for you, there is an issue that you have a desire for leaving this job and doing something else, but you're fearful about money when there is no need to be fearful about money. So, Four of Pentacles is a guy who's holding on really tightly to his coins, but he is like this, right? But who's trying to take his coins? There's nobody there, right? Nobody's trying to take his gold from him. He's holding on tightly, so tightly. Four and earth. Four is like rigid boundaries, and earth is like, so it's very stiff. It's very protective, but it's overly protective. So what that tells me is that your fear about leaving is really up here in your head. The reality is changing or moving up or leaving or doing some kind of change at work is actually going to be beneficial, but you're creating anxiety or worry about making that change. So let's ground it. Let's get back into the reality of it, not all the what ifs. What if this happens? What if that happens? If, for example, you want to move to a different department or you want to get a promotion of some kind, you have the ability to do it, but you have to make the effort. They're not going to pick you up like a helicopter and drop you off. You have to express to them that you want to make that change. If you want to leave the job entirely, start looking for other opportunities and just start applying to things, or get a recruiter to help you, or do something that puts you out there in some way. That way you can have the runway of having your current work situation, and then you're going to be in good shape. If you don't have work right now, if this has already happened, this ending has happened, and you're looking for work, this is to say you can get it, but get into the place of confidence and belief in yourself, knowing that you have all of this skill that you're bringing to the table that can get you that work. But it's like an inside job of being confident. What I see at the end with the fourth card is the Ace of Wands. This is success energy. But what this is, look at all this Wands energy we have here. Passion. It is about your passion. You have to feel optimistic. You have to feel passionate about what you're doing. And a new opportunity is going to come to you that's going to activate that optimism and passion as well. So we need to aim for it, and then you acquire it. That's where it's at. So now, do you have anything? Comments, Leslie? You can throw your comments in, and love what you can throw your spell work in.
Yeah, well, what an exciting reading. I think things are about to be really good.
Big
I think
change.
based on everything, yeah, big changes, but positive ones.
Mhm.
And I mean, I love change. I think change can be scary, but the scarier it is, that means like the more exciting it can be, right? And fear and excitement are very similar emotions. So try and switch between them if you're feeling too much of one. But, based on everything you said, I feel like right now is a really good time for working with open roads energy. So, maybe it's burning orange candles, wearing the color orange, painting your bedroom orange, or, working with like that open roads vigil or open roads bath crystals, just to really bring in the very best opportunities. And so that the path to wherever you're heading is clear. I think that would be a really smart thing to do right now.
Yeah, I love it. Open roads all the way, opening up those opportunities, smoothing the path. I mean, one of the great things about open roads is that it makes it smooth. Not only does it open, but it's like the hard work, the uphill. I was offered a different position. Basically, that helicopter did pick me up. Excellent. Then it's all that change is a good change. Don't worry about it. Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. So say yes to that opportunity because it's prime time for change. Absolutely. Absolutely. Wonderful. I love it.
How exciting.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I said that, you have to work for it, but apparently she doesn't.
Yeah, but I think, if you're offered a different position, you have worked for that.
Yeah.
It may feel like you're being lifted up, but you climbed that ladder. You
Exactly.
got recognized and they saw how hard you have been working. So give yourself some
That's what
credit
I'm
for that
saying,
too.
cream rises to the top. You were the cream that rose to the top. I
Hmm.
mean, it's awesome. It's really awesome. So if you're hesitating or like, should I take this job? What if it's more work? Or it's saying it's going to be a good thing. Don't hesitate or feel afraid, fearful about it. You're going to be fine. So yeah, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah. Excellent. All right. So let's see. Next we have Roger. Is this Roger? Oh, it's Roger Rivera. Roger Rivera, different Roger. I thought it was Roger from Soultopia. I was like, what's he doing on here? It's Roger Rivera. Hi. My question is, will my love romance life improve? It's been hard dating these days, so I hope a single card can help bring a good message. Yes. Okay, let's take a look and see. How do we get back on the dating, back in the game, the dating game? My gosh, the dating game was in that movie, The Holdovers. They had a little that show used to be on TV. So wild. Old people. That shows how you are old if you know about the dating game.
Does that mean I'm old?
You're a wannabe old.
Yeah,
You
true.
act like you're old, but you're not.
Like an old cosplayer.
All right. Well, Roger, look at what card we have here. The Sun card. Ah, what a beautiful card. Okay. So here's how to make your love life improve with that Sun card showing up. It's being visible. It's being seen. You have to be seen. Look at that little baby. That little baby is not shy. That little baby has no clothes on, riding around on that horse, having a good time, very open energy. Even the gesture of the baby is open. It's like the sun, right? The sun is up there with its rays sticking out. So think of the sun. The sun shines its light on everybody. We all know when the sun is out. We all pay attention when the sun is out. I would have a little comment about this to say, do we know when the sun is out and do we pay attention? Absolutely. It's nighttime here. The sun is not out. Tomorrow, is it daytime? It's going to be out. Do we always know when the moon is out? No. No, we don't always know when the moon is out unless you're paying attention, unless you're a witch and you're paying attention. Most people couldn't tell you, is the moon out? Is the moon out right now? Right? So we know it's a full moon right now, but the rest of the world, they may not know or pay attention or care. So the sun is evident. It's shining everywhere. It's right in your face. It's there. It's shining brightly. So I would say to you, this is something that you can bring in, which is to show yourself more. Dress up a little bit more, right? That's a way of showing up in the world, is to dress up, get a haircut, you know, put on some cute outfit, get out there, go socialize, be visible to people. You can go online. That's another way of being visible, putting up an online profile. But you can get out in the world too and be present. Be joyful and happy. Find Oh my God, thank you. I didn't expect that card to come out. I've been on Facebook dating. A lot of the guys I dealt with there were narcissistic a-holes, but I'm glad the sun card came out. So maybe it's like going out into the world, getting involved in the world, being like, I think one of the things that's so important that I'm getting a message about, you're online And we can only get so much from online. If I see a picture of the sun, is that the same as being out on a sunny day? No, not at all. I can look at a picture of the sun and go, yeah, it's a beautiful sunset or sunrise or sun in the sky. But feeling the sun, being in the presence of the sun is what gives you the experience. So I would encourage you, if it's possible, to get out and socialize, get involved in groups. If you want to meet guys, go get involved in things where gay men are, right? It's like you can, I mean, I'm going to be very stereotypical right now. Get involved in community theater. You're going to meet a lot of gay men. You meet some straight men too, but you're going to meet some gay men there. Get involved in chorus or choir or going to art museums. All the things. I mean, I'm thinking of the things here in LA where if I were a gay man, that's where I would go meet gay men because these are things I love, I'm interested in, and I see nothing but gay men at these places, right? Or get involved in a group that's like a community of some kind. Yeah. But be visible, be as visible as possible. When you're going out just on your day to day, if you're going out into the world, maybe dress up a little bit. Not like you have to wear a tuxedo to the grocery store, but, put on a nice shirt. Don't dress like a hobo when you go go out in the world. That's what I do. Sometimes I'm like out looking like a hobo. And then I see somebody, this was when I was single, I'd see a guy and I'd be like, oh my God, what am I doing? Just like in my sweats. This is crazy. So kind of be in that place of like being the shining sun and joyful. This is joyful, carefree energy. Find joyful, playful things that you can get out into the world. And that's how you're going to meet your guy. That's how you're going to meet your guy. Sweet and fun. If you live in a big city, it's kind of easier. There's a lot more places to go. But even in small towns, I think there's really wonderful communities that form, so you can find a little thing that you're passionate about and get involved in it and make new friends. Just go with, I love those things where you can kind of just go and let nature take its course, right? Oh, you're in West Hollywood. Oh my God. Oh my God. You're in West Hollywood. You're here in LA. You don't have to go to the nightclubs with all the 20-year-olds with their chiseled body. I mean, those are fun to go to too. But you can get involved in there's so many organizations that you can get involved in. Get involved in an organization. Oh my gosh. You can get involved in GLAAD, or you can get involved in the LGBTQ center, or you can get involved in something else, artistic or creative or fun or whatever. Just find those places where you're going to meet gay men. There's lots of gay men in LA. You got to get involved and out there and be seen. And I know those clubs are really about the little meat market-y, that's not the place for you to meet anyone. This is for you to go and enjoy the show. Definitely enjoy the show. But if you want to go meet somebody, I think those things of doing something day to day, and you can definitely get involved and meet great guys, be really fun. Have fun doing it, right? Go with the intention of widening your social circle, not with the beeline of I'm going to meet my husband or whatever, but go with that intention of making new friends, meeting new people. And when you come with that relaxation, it brings lots of confidence. So, all right, take it away, Love Witch.
Well, I agree with everything you said, and I love everything you said. As you were talking, I found this the sun from this deck I have where he's the New Year's baby. And this says so much to me because I'm like, yeah, this is what you want to do. You every time you go out on a date, you want to bring that new, fresh, exciting energy. If you've had bad dates or have a bad dating history, don't let that hold you back. Let that be the thing that is starting your now perfect dating history, right? Like you kissed all the frogs and now you're ready to go. But the other thing that this really made me think of is what do we do on New Year's? We don't stay at home. We go out usually, right? We get all dressed up and we go have fun. So going out there, having fun is 100% all you need to do. And when people see you having fun, they're going to want to have fun with you.
Yeah.
And I think dressing up is really important. New York City is a big city, but it's so tiny in so many ways. So you constantly run into people you don't want to. And I was always running into them when I looked awful. So I started dressing really well every time I left the house. That becomes intimidating. So now I don't leave the house as much, but I'm not meeting anybody that way. So just keep in mind that you got to be putting yourself out there. And this is great. You can do so much work on yourself magically to attract more people, like working with attraction oil or bathing with a come to me soap, or just writing down a list of qualities that you want to have in this man that you're calling in, so that you know him when you spot him. I think all of those would be really easy and good things to get the ball rolling, or keep it rolling rather.
If you're an earth sign or a water sign, I'm going to say this is now, this is, of course, hashtag not all earth signs and not all water signs. I get it. But in general, people that have earthy energy and water energy take a little bit longer to get something going in a relationship. Yeah, you can have that like quick hookup and all of that stuff. But if you want like a real relationship, you got to get to know the person. You got to see if they're a narcissistic a-hole or if they're not. And that takes time. So I encourage my people who are singles that when they look at their dating history and they're like, oh, everything was a failure. It's not a failure, because to get to know someone, you have to spend some time with them, and you cannot get to know if they're a good person or a match, let's just say even a match for you, without spending time. Now, that doesn't mean that every person you're going to spend time with is going to be a match. So instead of saying like, I'm not criticizing you, saying obviously they are not the right match for you, these guys that you've met so far. But look at it as like, oh, well, I had to spend time with that person to get to know if they were the right person for me, and they weren't the right person for me. So it's much more neutral than saying, oh, I'm a failure, or nobody likes me, or all I meet are assholes, or da 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 da. So you can shift that narrative to like, hey, I had to experience these to know. But I think I get a sense that wherever you are in this whole thing, you need to spend time with someone and let that grow, let that connection grow. Even if you're attracted to one another instantly, you still want to get to know the person. And if you're doing these things out in the world where you see people, particularly things where you see people over and over again, you can nurture that connection and you can get to know them before you even go down that path, right? So get involved in some kind of, you've got nothing but things that you can get involved in West Hollywood. You have nothing but things that you can get involved in. Find a thing that you're passionate about. You've got a buffet out there of things. It can be the arts, it can be creativity, it can be political, it can be activism, it can be whatever. Any topic that you're passionate about, find a group in West Hollywood, find a group, and you're going to have lots of guys there that you can get to know, and you can get to know if they're the right one for you. That's a great strategy, I think. So,
Yeah. Something related to what you were just saying that I like to share with my clients a lot is like, think of your dating history as like a resume. My resume is not made up of jobs I loved. If it was, I would still work at those jobs, right? It was jobs that I went through, and like there was something that was right about them, and they were a good fit for a period of time. And then I wanted out and I wanted something bigger and better. So I figured out, okay, what parts of this job do I like that I want to translate to some new job? And how can I make my resume really focus on that? So just taking a look at the experiences you've had so far and figuring out how you want to tweak them and what strengths you've gained from them that you can now translate to this perfect relationship that you're going to find next, like the perfect job that I found with Madame Pamita. And now I don't need a resume. Don't have one.
you'll never need a resume ever again. Thank you so much, Roger. Hopefully that was helpful. I'm excited for you. I mean, I look at that and like, ooh, what are the clubs that I could join? What are the groups that I could join and place and think of it like a little buffet that you can go sample. Like if you think, oh, okay, I want to go check out working for GLAD, for example, volunteering for GLAD. Okay, go volunteer for GLAD. And if you're like, not really feeling it, then you could try something else. Again, you got to spend time in it to know if it's right for you. It's just like, that's the experience, right? You don't know until you try it, right? Like going to a buffet. If you see something that looks good, you got to try it to see if it is good. And if it isn't, try something else on the buffet, right? All right, John Paul. Oh, John Paul, how are you? I'm thinking so much of you.
Hi, John Paul. It's so good to see you.
Oh my gosh. Jessica has been gone 6 weeks already. I had to get a new phone, got a second opinion from another dentist, needing surgery to get my wisdom teeth removed. Well, John Paul, that happens when you turn 20 years old. You'd have to get your wisdom teeth removed. um, been really down. Will things get better? Well, here, Okay, I had to get a new phone. Yeah, got a new phone. Maybe that shouldn't be a positive. You got a fancy new phone. I think there's some good things in there.
Yeah, you know what, like, jumped out at me right away? It's been 6 weeks since sweet little Jessica passed, and I did some quick math in my head, and 6 times 7 is 42, and in Slavic magic, 40 is the number of days it takes for the spirit to reach where it's going, right? So, things are gonna get better, I think, because now you can ask Jessica to help you.
Yeah.
You've got this amazing little magical companion on the other side now who's already like settled in and ready to make some magic on your behalf. So I think you should reach out to her and ask her for some help and ask her, please make things better and please help me to get through this rough patch. And let that missing and that longing for her that you're feeling be something that pulls you back closer to her by working with her spirit.
Hmm. So beautiful. I love that so much. Yes. Um, so I just had a root canal earlier this week, Wednesday. I had a root canal. So I feel your pain with the dentistry stuff. It's no fun. But I think of these things as like, let's shift our view of this. It's like you're getting it fixed. And if you get it fixed, you're not going to have the pain or the inconvenience or the issues that are surrounding it. So it isn't that we are looking at these things of like, oh, I'm cursed, something. No, this is just part of life, right? We most people have to get their wisdom teeth out. I mean, I don't know many people that keep them for a long time. It's just something we were designed to lose teeth, and so we have these extra ones. But if we're not losing our teeth, then these extra ones crowd everything and can create problems. So it's just that you're taking care of business. You're taking care of business. But let's see what the cards have to say about all of this. But I think of these things, yeah, maybe there was some bad luck with the phone, but now you got a new phone. So you got something nice to work with. Um, Jessica being gone from the physical is never an easy journey to lose a beloved pet, family member, loved one. It's never an easy journey. It's a grief journey. It's a journey only you can go on, but we can walk beside you, but we cannot take that journey for you. But this is also a part of life, is that we do lose our loved ones. And so we have to remember that we didn't lose them completely. We lost them on physical, but we gained them in spiritual form because her spirit's always around you. So there's never like a zero loss, like a loss that's a loss. There's always something that's gained. So I would encourage you to look for the blessing, not the blessing in losing Jessica. I don't think you can say that was a blessing, but you do have a little blessing in that you have a spirit now, just like the Love Witch said. You have a little spirit that's
And you have the blessing of all the years you got to spend together.
exactly. And you were such a good daddy to her, such a good daddy to her. I mean, listen, in my next life, I want to come back as your cat, John Paul. That's my
Me
wish.
too.
Because that is like primo coddling, pampering, taking care of. Oh my gosh, all the love, all of that. You are such a good daddy. And you know what? You'll always have that connection to her. Maybe a new little cat will come into your life, and then you'll have a new to add to that little family. You can have a new love in your life, that's not a problem. But when you're ready for that, we're not always ready. It took me a long time after my last cat before I got Glinda. It was probably 6 or 7 years before I got another cat, so that was me. But sometimes people are faster about it. So it's however you want. All right. Will things get better? Let's see. Let's see how to get things better. All right. Oh, I love it. I love it. Okay. Here's our answer. The Knight of Pentacles is step by step. Things are going to get better. Things are going to improve. It's going to be a little bit, it's probably not going to be noticeable because they're going to get a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. But it's, Knight of Pentacles is step by step. So it's step by step getting in better, step by step improving. So I think we have to, when we have Knight of Pentacles energy, we have to remind ourselves to acknowledge the improvements, to acknowledge those things, right? I think the deep grief, grief is such a weird journey. Like grief journey looks like this. It is not like this. It's like this, right? Would you agree, Love Witch?
Yes,
It's like this. But
absolutely.
look at what the trend is. It's getting higher, but it goes up and down, right?
Yeah, and then it'll have some lulls, and it'll go up, and it'll go back down.
But in general, as time passes, the sharp pain of grief gets softer, right? You don't
Yeah,
feel the same way a month later or 6 months later that we did the day that it happened, right? But you'll have moments where you have a little tender moment. That's okay, right? But in general, things are going to improve. This is what this card says, is that the Knight of Pentacles is like the improvements happening step by step. Look at this though. Empress energy. Empress energy is like, if you're talking improvement, it doesn't get any better than this. This is like she's sitting on squishy pillow cushions. She's the empress. She's got her shield, heart-shaped shield with the Venus symbol on it. She's in beautiful, lush surroundings. Everything's growing around her. So this also represents to me like a gorgeous kind of organic improvement that's happening. So while you have to like put one foot in front of the other, what this says to me is that it actually is going the healing is going to happen on its own. The healing is going to happen on its own. When you get your teeth fixed, you won't have that problem anymore. You got your new phone and you'll have a new cat to love one day. I mean, this is a love energy. It can be a relationship even, but it's love coming into your life and ease coming into your life. It's ease. It is ease. So you'll have a new little love. It'll be a cat, it'll be a relationship, it'll be much much better. So if you asked me or said to me, your life is me, Pamita, your life is really tough right now, but this is where it's headed, I'd be like, hallelujah. Great. This is actually so chill and relaxed, empowered, strong, loving, magnetic. I mean, it's everything. So I see you getting there. All right.
that's the only place I'm trying to be.
I
I
know,
think
right?
about the Empress so much. Yeah.
So good.
And like, she's sitting pretty, and like it doesn't look like she's worked that hard to get there, really. Like it's not like she climbed her way up through some ladder. There was a title that was handed to her, right? Like the universe said, here you go, take it easy.
Yeah.
So I really love that for you, John Paul. And I know that things will get better and will get easier. And it's important to remember that life just always has its ups and downs. So if it's a hard period, that just means there's a good period right around the bend, and it's going to feel that much better when it gets here. So just be ready for it and be
Yeah.
excited for it.
Yeah. Just allow the healing. I mean, I would almost look at it as like allow the healing to happen. Step by step, you're going
Yeah.
to get there. Step by step, you're doing the things you need to do. I think, you're doing everything you need to do. Step by step, the healing's going to happen.
Hmm.
So, what would you recommend for a spell for John Paul?
Lots of good stuff you could do here. I think if you want to do a spell that helps you to work with the spirit of Jessica, you could maybe consider working with a cat candle, maybe like our psychic cat candle or just a normal cat candle. Dressing it with something like spirit guide oil or holy healing oil could be a really beautiful way to work. But also, just visualizing life getting easier. I had, it hasn't been like a super easy couple of years for me, also related to cats. I went through some really tough stuff, and, my cat is now special needs, which means I can't travel or even go anywhere that's like more than an hour from my house because I have to help her out so much throughout the day. And during the hardest parts of this journey, I close my eyes and I say, life is easy and fun. And it doesn't always feel true in those moments, but it is slowly getting more easy and more fun. So finding a mantra like that feels good and it feels believable, like, you don't want to feel like you're lying to yourself. But I know that life has been easy and fun, and life has this capacity and is able to be easy and fun. So that's what I remind myself when things are really hard. And it's like, yeah, this hard moment is just to help me see how easier and fun other moments are.
Yeah.
So I think just keep reminding yourself of those things.
Um,
And with grief, it's going to be a journey, so don't be mad at yourself or beat yourself up for however long it takes, because that's how long it takes. And if it's taking a really long time, or you feel like you're really really struggling with it, don't be afraid to reach out to a therapist or talk to somebody who can help you to deal with grief. I found that incredibly helpful as well. So, there's no shame in asking for help or receiving help. And there's a lot of great practices and advice that you can get from people who know a lot about grief, and have, worked with a lot of different people.
Yeah. I would say, like I went through also tough last few months, oh, I
Yeah,
miss her every day. Yeah. But
yeah, I know you do.
her spirit is there with you too. It's not the same, but it also, you lose when you lose someone in physical form, you lose the ability to like pet them or talk to them or
Yeah,
cuddle them, but you gain this wonderful spirit that's around you that can do magical things and protect you and give you blessings. I mean, our little spirits are so powerful and we don't put them to work enough. I'll tell you that. They always tell us
yeah.
we're waiting for them to ask us to do something. That's what most of them say. But like I went through a tough couple of months and real tough couple of months with a lot of shock and fear and all kinds of emotions when my son was sick. And I just said, you know what? I'm inviting joy back into my life. And I pictured joy as this beautiful goddess, and I'm inviting her back into my life to bring back that joy. So I keep doing that
That's
practice of
beautiful.
inviting joy back in. And I think of her as a goddess. So you can visualize your happiness as whatever you want. You can picture it as a goddess. You can picture it as a magical little cat with wings. You can picture it with
Mhm.
whatever, but you're inviting that happiness back and that ease back. So that is something definitely you can do.
Yeah, and one other thing I want to say is grief is love. So every time you miss her, every time you feel really sad about her, just remember that that is just a message about how much you loved her. And that if she wasn't loved, or if like you weren't a good dad to her, you wouldn't be having these feelings. So this is evidence of love that has existed in your life, and love that will come back into your life
Yeah.
again. And cats have the most magical way of like coming in and out of our lives. So I have no doubt at all that another cat with Jessica's same energy or with her same spirit is going to end up back in your orbit. I know it's happened for me several times over.
Yeah.
So just hang in there.
Yeah, I think you want to invite that perfect cat back into your life and she or he will find you,
Yeah.
when you're ready, whenever you're ready. Everybody has their own timeline of like when they're ready and you may want to break from having, being a cat owner, but when you're ready, you'll know for sure. All right. Michelle has a one card question. Thank you, John Paul.
Thank you, John Paul.
Thank you, Roger. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you, Chandra. Thank you, Nina. Nina, we see you have another question. No worries. We got you. Okay. And Healing Mind and Adrija. Okay. So, Michelle, I just sent $10 to PayPal. Okay. Unemployed and broke. I have applied for hundreds of jobs in my career field as a graphic designer. Will I get a job soon, this week, February, or March? All right. Let's take a look and see. Love Witch will give you some good low cost or free ways that you can bring in abundance. So nothing like having stress and then having to spend money when you're worried about your job. So we'll give you some ways you can do it with things that you have already or no accessories needed. Do you like how I slyly am directing you like a puppet master?
No, you're just reading my mind is all.
Okay. All right. Oh, look at this card making an appearance again. Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles has a job in his hands, right? So here's what I would say. He is at the beginning. And so I almost get a sense that like you have great experience as a graphic designer. You might want, maybe you have a graphic capacity in some area. Like maybe you were like, I don't know, I'm just going to make up something. Maybe you were doing CD covers, right? And nobody wants CD covers anymore. So, how can you take your graphics experience and channel that into a new avenue? Like, it's not saying don't do graphics, but it's like a new avenue because this is like a new job, a new path. That's what pages represent. And that's Pentacle is a job. So, what you need to do is to think about like, how can I take my skills and put them in new avenues? I almost think that too, if you want to get a little like traction or just a little bit, there are lots of freelancer websites where you can just pick up some kind of quick little bits of money. Sometimes those freelancer jobs though turn into permanent positions, you know. So if you think about maybe putting yourself, I don't know if you're putting yourself out there on these freelancer websites, but do some research, look for websites for freelancers, look at what the graphic designers are on there, and then maybe try to reframe the kind of work that you do into a different area. I mean, I know this kind of real intimately because my partner, he is a graphic designer that did newspapers. Well, you know, like put together newspapers for 30 years. He did it at one place. He did it for 30 years, right? And then the newspaper was gone. And so then the job was gone. But how many newspapers are there that are looking for graphic designers? That's like unfortunately, like a thing of the past. So he's having to rebrand himself in graphic design to look for other kinds of things. I mean, everything he's done has been something that isn't. So, how can you then change it into something else? So, think about your graphics design and how you can put it in a new avenue. If the avenue that you are have the most experience is not a lucrative or a vibrant one, then you need to find a new avenue for it. So that can really help. And then doing some freelance gigs, say just bring in a little extra money so that you're not worried about money would be also helpful too. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a friend who, oddly enough, was also a graphic designer for newspapers. And then the last like newspaper in her town stopped producing new papers. So she started just being a graphic designer, like freelancer. And all of her work was like logos and business cards and letterheads and stuff for people. And then that work dried up. And so she had to kind of switch focus and she rephrased herself to be like a branding consultant. And so instead of a graphic designer, you come to her if you need help with branding, and she'll give you a logo and business cards and letterhead. So she's doing the exact same thing, but she's able to charge more and make people think they're getting something that they don't associate necessarily with a graphic designer. So I think shifting your perspective, when I've been on job hunts, I have like dozens of different versions of my resume that are like catered to the thing that I'm applying for so that it highlights the strengths that are going to help that company the most. So making sure that you're sending out customized resumes or cover letters that really lay out what you bring to the table, because they're not going to go find that out on their own. And as far as like really easy magical things you could do, you could work with the color yellow or green. Yellow is great for recognition and success. Green, we associate it with money in the States. Um, Other things you can do is, working with mantras or like a daily affirmation is a really good one here. So I'm so glad I got the job I was dreaming of. I'm so glad that a job came to me quickly. Speaking them as if you already have them is going to be really, really helpful. If you want to burn some candles, just like candles you already have, it doesn't have to be a spell candle or a candle that was designed for magic. You can definitely do that and just hold that candle and picture yourself getting that call saying you're hired, starting your first day and really loving it, and then lighting it. That's a really simple but effective spell. So try some of those things.
I also have a little practical piece of advice because I am like old school. The last job I had was in late the last job that I had to apply for was in the 90s.
Oh, wow.
Every other job has been like word of mouth, you know, whatever. But um, and then I had my business, and then didn't have to worry about it anymore. But nowadays, there's with AI, There's some I don't know how it's done because I haven't applied for a job, but you can use AI to help write your resume, and those AI resumes do better than a human resume because why? And a lot of these jobs, they have AI combing through the resumes to sift out the ones that are not appropriate. So, do a little research about that and like how to use AI to write your resume. If you did a Google search for that, I'm sure you'll find articles about this. But this is something that I found out about because my kids are looking for jobs, and I'm like, hey, this thing will help you, you know? So, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, depending on your thoughts about AI and how much you want to work with it or utilize it, you maybe also, as a graphic designer, could find some ways of having AI to help you so that you can lower your rates and a job will take less time. So I don't know if that's like asking AI for ideas or for like an early first draft or something that you can improve on. But finding some way to like work with it because it's going to be around no matter what, right? So if you can get in the door early, maybe you could really benefit from it.
Yeah. 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 I think that
If you want
things
to be
can turn
scared of it,
around.
that's also acceptable because that's how I
Yeah. I
feel.
mean, I'm always like AI, like, you know, but it is a reality, you know? It's just that, we have I think you can probably, do hybrid things, right? Like, I have
Mhm.
used in writing I don't write with AI, I write like a old school writer, I just write it. But, I definitely like, when I'm looking at book titles, I use AI to look at book titles because it's like, I'm terrible with titles. I never can think of a good title. So, getting that stimulation of those ideas will come up with help me to, like, come up with a creative thing. So, I mean, in the terms of the art, it may it's such a it's a as Noam Chomsky said, he's a bit problematic, but Noam Chomsky said it's not an artificial intelligence, it's a plagiarism program, and it kind of is. It's
Right.
stealing from
Yeah.
already written things, and it's stealing from already created things. Um, but yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it could be a contributing factor as to why there's less graphic design work as well,
Oh
right?
yeah, definitely.
Um, but we just got to like adapt with the times and figure out a way to keep up and to stay relevant. And I think too, like as a graphic designer, you probably have a portfolio, and hopefully it's pretty diverse, so you can find ways of showcasing it. So, like if you have done graphic design for an insurance company, you could say, "I'm an insurance graphic designer," and then apply to insurance companies. Um, I used to do a lot of professional copywriting, and this is something I would do where it's like, "Oh, this job is about insurance. I wrote homeinsurance.com. So I'm going to really focus on that in my cover letter."
Mhm.
And then it makes you stand out by default.
Okay, excellent. Well, good best of luck with that, Michelle. We wish
Yeah,
you
good luck,
well.
Michelle.
Hopefully, you use some of those spells and you get this very quickly. Yeah. I think it's just a
Ooh, and if
small
you have
shift can make a
chamomile
difference.
tea,
What?
I would say too, if you have some chamomile tea, drink that just to like calm any anxieties that you have and bring in money. Really,
Mhm.
really easy magic you can do. Should we talk about our sale real quick
Yeah,
before we
let's
move
talk
on to
about the
Nina's next
sale.
question?
We have, if you are wanting to have some spell work done and you don't want to do it yourself, maybe you can't do it because you have nosy neighbors or people in your house that are going to be like, what are you doing there? Or maybe you're just like, I'd rather have someone else do it that maybe has more experience or isn't so attached to the outcome. I mean, I think a lot of reasons why we have other people do spell work. I've even had other people do spell work for me because if I'm too anxious about something, sometimes I can't bring all my positive, confident energy to something. So then I have someone else do
Mhm.
the spell and they bring their confidence to it if I'm feeling a little bit wobbly. Maybe you're in a situation where you don't feel like you know what to do with a spell, even though we have spell kits that, give you step by step instructions. Maybe you're just feeling like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'd rather have someone else to do it. Maybe you're that person that's like, I'll just have my people do it. We'll be your people. We will be your
Yeah, we
people
can be
that
your
will
people.
that will do it for you. And we just are running a wonderful, wonderful sale right now that it's 50% off all spell services. That means vigil candle spell services, uh, same day spell service with Honoreo, same spell service, Love Friday Love Witch, group spell service, custom spell services. I mean, the whole gamut. So if you go to spell work category, this code spell work will give you 50% off the price. That is a big dramatic discount. That's a big discount. We're not offering
Yeah,
this
you
like,
can.
I don't see us offering this anytime again soon. So if there's something that you would like some support, here's another reason you might want to have spell work done for you. Maybe you want to do your spell at home and you want us to do a spell as well. That is a phenomenal way to work. I mean, that is like my ideal way of working. And I very rarely do I get to work with people this way. Either they want me to do it and I do it, or they do it themselves. But when you're doing a spell for the goal and I'm doing, or one of the other spellcasters here is doing a spell for you for the goal, this is like we're getting double the energy. We're exponentially expanding because we're both working on the same issue, and it can be a wonderful, wonderful way to work. Some of my best work is really when I do have those opportunities to work with someone who's also working on it. Maybe you're not doing a candle spell at home. Maybe you're working with charm bag or a mojo bag, or you're doing baths or something else. And then we do the candle work. We're both working toward the same goal. It's both spell work toward the same goal. So that can be a way that you work. Maybe you're putting the oil on yourself while we're doing the candle. All of that can be possible. So anything you want to say about it, Love Witch?
Yeah, we'd love to make some magic for you. We have tons of different options at lots of different price points. Starting at our group services, there's a couple of different ones you can choose from, and this coupon will save you $30 on those. So it would only be starting at $30, or this goes all the way up to the custom spell. So this could save you $300 on a custom spell designed by Madame Pamita. And when you get those, the custom spell, you get a 15-minute consultation before we do the work so that we have a really clear understanding of what your goals are, and so that we can pick the most powerful spell for your situation. And then we have another one of those sessions after the candle has completed, so we can show you how it burned down and divine information from those remains and see like what your spirit guides are trying to tell you about how you should follow up. So yeah, let's make some magic.
Yeah.
The sale is going for a few more days, I think, right? So
Yeah.
this is a really good chance to get some amazing savings. We've never done a sale this big before on spell work, and like Madame Pimita said, we probably won't do it again anytime soon. So take this opportunity to have some magic made on your behalf or alongside you. That's one of my favorite ways to work too. It's really, really powerful and a really wonderful way to also like tangibly connect to the spell you're having done for you, right? Just having it burned on our altar, super powerful and will definitely work. But doing something alongside it to connect to it, that's really the sweet spot.
Yeah.
And this is a great chance to get to do that at even less than it would cost to normally just have us do the spell, right? Because our spell kits aren't that expensive. So we'd love to work alongside you like that.
Yeah, I mean, every complex spell, people say, well, why, complex spells? I mean, first of all, when we're doing spell work, we're putting our energy into it. We're putting our expertise in it. It is costly to get custom work done, but remember, you're also getting 30 minutes of session along with it. So that's part of the cost, is that you're getting 30 minutes of one-on-one with your spellcaster so that they can ascertain, you can do a little reading, we can see what you need, and then we can give you those spell results, make recommendations going forward. So you're getting more than just the candle spell when you get that. Some places
Yeah.
I mean, I've had candles done where I haven't even gotten a photo. I just pay the
Right.
money and then I
Same.
get that they did the spell, I hope. I mean, it has to be a trust situation. And these people I did trust, that I had to do work for me. But before I had a business, long before I had a business. But in doing spell work, we always send you, even if you don't get a candle report at the end, we always send a photo of the work so that you can see that your work is being done. If it's a group scenario, everybody has their own way, but I put um, some kind of signifier so that you know which one is yours, and you get a photo of that so you can see that candle. So yeah, absolutely. Or if it's a private one, not a group one, you'll have a little placard, a photo with a placard with your name on it, so you can see that the work is being done.
Yeah. Yeah, and I've had spells done by other places too, and like they work great, but not nearly as detailed and as customized as ours are,
Yeah.
right? So when I do a spell for you, I'm going to let you know all the oils that I used, all the herbs that I used, so that you can keep working with those herbs, or so that you can, surround yourself with things that relate to your spell and that will keep that energy going and keep your manifestations headed your way.
Yeah.
So
We give
yeah,
you our
head
spell
to
recipe, basically, when we give you the spell, we give you the recipe as
yeah,
well.
and keep it
Yeah,
secret. We'll tell you everything we do, and we'll answer any questions you've got about it. So
exactly.
we can really not only like do magic for you, but help you to expand your understanding of magic and your magical skills as well.
So you get
And if you go,
session, you get a lesson, you get the work. I mean, you get so much when you get a spell done. Yeah.
and if you go to the main page of Parlor Wonders, there is a banner you can click where that has the coupon code and everything, and it'll take you to that category. Or you can just scan the QR code that's on screen here, or check the chat because I put the link there as well.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Should we move on to Nina's
Yeah,
question
Nina,
now? Her
let's go
second
to
question?
Nina's question. Second one card reading. I want to gift my love, Steve. He was very close to his wonderful mother who has passed. What messages does the tarot have for her, from her, for him at this time? Okay. Oh, so sweet. Here's the Knight of Swords. So your mom is sending a message, really a strong message, actually, about life being like your one, this life. I mean, we talk about lifetimes. You have many lifetimes, of course, but in your life, you have one chance to go for it. You should live life with gusto. You should be bold in your life. You should take chances and take risks. Go for it is that quality, because you have this one, your one moment on the stage in this body, right? So in this body, in this lifetime, you should absolutely take your risks, take those chances, go for things. I'm wondering, and I'm getting a sense that mom was very careful. Mom was always maybe overly cautious and wasn't this, maybe the opposite of this. And so that she would hold back, or she would be very careful, or she'd always like make sure that she was living she had safety. And here she's telling you to that it's like, in retrospect, when she looks back at her life, she should have taken more risks. She should have gone for it more. She should have done that. Not that she doesn't have a chance to do that in the next lifetime, but in your opportunity is here now. And so this is the card to say, go for it. Just go and you'll figure it out as you go along. Just go for it. Love seeing this card. Love this message from her. It's good for all of us, really, not only just for him, but to really to say, live your life, take those risks. Then I say risks, I don't mean go run on a freeway. That's not what she's saying, right? She's saying like go for the thing you want. If it feels a little bit scary, but you want what's on the other side, go for it. Go for it. Don't live life like being very safe and very, closed off. Be open, right? Beautiful and open energy. So, Nina, did you know his mom? Is that energy that I'm picking up accurate? She's very careful, careful
Hmm.
person. So I think there's a balance. You don't want to be reckless and stupid. Obviously, that's not what she's saying, but she's saying to take those chances in life, right? To go for it. Beautiful message.
Yeah, I think a message I'm also getting is that, like, in those times where you are going for it, where you are taking a risk, and where you are really going after what you want, that she's here to support you through it. So you can ask for her help, you can lean on her, and you can uh, invoke her in those times. And I would suggest, setting up a little altar for her in your home and leaving little offerings for her, things that she liked. You had a very personal connection to her, so you know what things are special to her. And when you feel her presence, or when you feel her do something special for you, thank her with one of those offerings, or set up like a regular practice with it. Like every Sunday I leave an offering for her, or every month on the first I do it, or every year on her birthday. It could be as regular or as irregular as you want. But I think having that place that's dedicated to her and that reminds you of her, and that is where you can leave offerings for her is going to be a great way to work with her even even more strongly. Nina says she didn't know her, but he is saying yes, she was like that.
Mm.
So yeah. And I think, you know, if she was somebody who was held back like that and who didn't always chase after the things she wants, it makes so much sense that she really, really wants you to go after them and that she really wants to help you achieve those things.
Mm.
And so also like when you're feeling stuck in one of these things and you don't know like which way do I turn here, calm your thoughts and ask her to guide you. And you know, you might not hear her voice, you might not hear like left or right answer, but for me, like in my gut and in my heart, I can feel messages from my loved ones who've passed on in the times where I need them. So start feeling for those things and looking out for them. I think a lot of times people think like, oh, if I'm going to get a message from someone I knew, it's going to be in their voice or they're going to appear in front of me. And maybe that's how it works for you, but I know that's not how it works for me. So don't be too laser focused on how those messages are going to come through. Be open to however they're going to come through and be on the lookout for them so that you can receive them when she's sending them.
Speak
And let her know you hear them, you know,
exactly.
say, oh, I heard that. And I'm going to follow that advice. Thank you.
Or
Because otherwise she might get sick of shouting into the void, right?
well, I think that there's also like synchronicities that happen. Like one happened for me
Yes.
today. I was at the grocery store and there's this weird candy that my mom likes. I never see this candy. Never do I see this candy. The only place I see this candy is if you go into one of those old time candy stores with like barrels of old candy from like the turn of the century. Then you see it. So there's a special candy called Mary Jane's that are like toffee. Do you know what those are?
Yeah, this is going to make me cry because my great grandfather used to always give those to me. So those are really special to me too.
Oh my gosh. I'm in the grocery store. I'm walking down the aisle. I look over. I never go in the candy section, but I was like walking up the aisles just because trying to like see what was on sale and B, like, see if I could, remember what I needed, as you walk in, jogs your memory, right? I look over there and I see a bag of Mary Janes and they're on sale for $1.29. I'm buying those and I'm putting those on my ancestor altar. So I did that today. But I always think this is my mom. That's such a specific thing to my mom, just like it's such a specific thing to your grandpa. So, or your great grandpa. So it's like these synchronicities will tell you she's there, you know? That's the thing. All right. So let's go to healing mind. Healing mind. All right. Hold on a second. I'm just making some notes. All righty. Okay, so we have
And while you're making those, I'm going to remind people that they can add Julia on Facebook
oh yeah.
and see the grannies that their donation is helping. So they'll post an update tomorrow thanking you if you friend them on Facebook. So make sure to scan this QR code and do that.
Yeah, yeah, that's not Yulia, by the way, in the picture.
Right.
That's one of the grannies that, Yulia's beautiful, redheaded, gorgeous, in her 30s, she's the one that's helping to move all these groceries and get them out, so all right, so, healing mind, job interview tomorrow. Okay, let's take a look at the job interview tomorrow. Well, what does healing mind need to know? Okay. Oh, I'm laughing. Okay, when I shuffle the cards, I always take the card and I put it somewhere in the middle. I shuffle, but we've got this one coming up again. So, Knight of Swords energy. Okay, when you go into your job interview, you need to go in with confidence, like really go in with confidence. I would even say your communication skills are really going to be great at this job. And what you need to show them or even tell them is think of it from their perspective, right? They're I would almost say you're like to psych yourself up. They're desperate to have that job filled. They're looking for the perfect person. You are you are that perfect person. You are that perfect person. So, how when you present tomorrow, it's like how am I going to be your perfect person? Right? That's what you need to tell them. It seems a little like you're selling yourself. You are selling yourself, right? If I'm like going to get a job at the candle factory, I'm going to tell them, look, I can bring all of my skill as a candle maker to your candle factory job. Plus, I love your company because you're doing this, this, and this. I think I'm an amazing match for you guys because I can do this, this, and this for you. Blah blah blah. Right. So you're not seeing what they can do for you. That's not going to get you hired. It's what you can offer them and how you are the perfect fit. Go in with the mentality and even say the mantra before you go in. I am going to solve all of their problems. This is the problem that they have is they need to fill this role. I'm going to be the solution to that problem. What a great mantra to bring in. Yeah. Go in, communicate, go in with confidence. Feel the fear and do it anyway is always the message of the Ace of Swords. I mean, the Knight of Swords. So, yeah. All right. So, what do you have for job interview?
Yeah, well, since it's tomorrow, I'm going to give you some suggestions that you can do, without buying anything or without having to do too much. So I think between now and then, kind of picturing how you want this interview to go, picturing the questions you want them to ask you, and then thinking about how you're going to answer those questions, like reciting it in your head. This can really help you to get psyched up for the interview and have stuff in your back pocket. I think in relation to that problem solving idea, think about problems you've solved at other jobs that were similar to this and find a way to bring that into the conversation so they can see that you are a problem solver and you are the type of person that they really need at their company. If you've got some Supreme Confidence oil or some Grand Success oil or Fame and Fortune oil or Steady Work oil, we have so many great oils that you could work with. So really any good spiritual oil, a couple of dabs on that on your wrist before you go in. Or a spray of a spiritual cologne, any of those would be really good too. And I think lastly, if you have some sort of like lucky piece of clothing or lucky talisman that you can carry with you into this interview that's going to give you a little bit of magical boost, take it with you. What's the harm, right? So for me, I have a lot of like little petition papers in my wallet and little charms that I carry with me when I need their energy. Sometimes I forget that I even have them on me, and then I find them. I'm like, oh, I really did need this today. So taking a look around your house and see if there's anything really tiny that you can pack some intention into and bring with you. And just know that you've got this and they do need you. They are just waiting to find you. So you just got to shine and you're going to.
I
You've
love
got
that.
this.
Love that. All right. I want to wrap up by 8 o'clock or what top of the hour for you guys out East Coast, because I have a place I have to go and I have to eat. I haven't eaten dinner yet. So we'll take care of all the rest of you. All right. So Adrija, got a
You're
3-card
fine.
reading.
Appreciate the
Thank you so
question.
much, Healing Mind. Thank you,
Thank you.
Adrija. Oh my gosh, there's a rumor of layoffs happening in my company. Will it affect me? Okay, let's see what we see. Let's see. I just read I know what company you work for because we've done sessions together, and I just read an article that your company is doing great. So just read an article about that this morning. And that your competitor is not doing so great.
Well, those are
The
really good signs
competitor that
already.
begins with T. You know which one I'm talking about. Oh, look at. All right, here's all we need to know. I'm going to show you all 3 cards. Like you're worried. I know you're worried. It's not good. 9 of Swords. That's not good energy. That's like everybody. I think it's whenever there's a rumor going around at work, oh my gosh, there's going to be layoffs. Everybody gets this energy. Everybody starts worrying. Everybody starts getting. But look at your energy around it. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles, you're not going anywhere. And 6 of Cups, which is like they like you. They want to keep you. So these 2 cards tell me you're not going anywhere. But yeah, there's definitely this energetic energy of worry. This is not the job ending, but this is worry about the job ending, right? So you're safe. And I see that they appreciate you, they like you, that your job is secure. So I think there's just worry for no reason. There's worry, but it's intense worry. It can be very intense, right? When you think, it's not even, it's like something you have no control over, but I don't see the job ending. So it's just the worry that's showing up. But the job is long lasting. The job is good. Oh, It's doing great. The earning is actually awesome. But again, the rumor triggered my anxiety. Yeah, everybody feels that. Everybody feels that when that rumor starts going around. But you need to, I would say, oh, you go do the magic, but then I might add to your magic. I was going to say some magical thing, but I want to hear what you have to say, Love Witch.
Oh, okay. Well, I want to say sometimes people's questions just make me realize how weird I am, right? Like, because the last time I had a corporate job, there was rumors of layoffs, and I was like, thinking, "Gosh, I better get laid off." Like, I really hate it here. I really want them to lay me off so I can get severance and like a nice little package and an easy explanation as to why I don't work here anymore. They laid me off, and then they didn't, and I was like, "Ah, now I'm stuck here, and there's even less people, so there's even more work, so I just quit." But so maybe thinking about the fact that sometimes a layoff can be a good thing, I guess. But I think there's two really good oils that you could work with here. You could put them on a candle, you could put them on yourself, put them on your bath. You could take Madame Pimita's new on-demand workshop about spiritual oils and learn dozens of ways to work with them. But number one is powerful protection oil. It has this element of invisibility, so you're just going to be like invisible to anybody who's looking for people to lay off. And then I think shut your mouth oil to get those rumors to stop, because they're just contributing to your anxiety, and whether they're true or not, they're not going to affect you based on those cards and based on what a great worker you are. So just do some work to stop those rumors and to stop people from talking about your company in a negative way. I think that would be a really good way to work.
Yeah, it's like, it's like Chicken Little, the sky is falling. I wonder if there's even going to be any layoffs. Certainly you're not going to be laid off, but there may not even be layoffs. But here's what I
Yeah, and
would
I think
say.
sometimes companies will start these rumors themselves in order to get people to work harder, right? So consider that maybe this rumor came from within in order to instill some fear and to make you put in more
Oh my
hours that you shouldn't
gosh.
have to.
Well, I would also say, the anxiety issue, do some cleansing baths. I know you have cleansing
Mm,
baths or you know how to do a cleansing bath. And I would say do a cleansing bath, energetic purification to clear off all that anxiety, the worry, the fear, and all of that stuff. Do an energetic purification. If you don't have energetic purification bath, you can work with the oil. If you don't have the oil, you can use incense or a herb bundle to just cleanse that energy. But do some kind of ritual to get rid of the anxiety, to calm, like remind yourself, I am safe, my job is safe, all is well. And let's get rid of this negative thought that's invading my peace of mind.
yeah. Another one I love for that intention is release and restore, right? I'm releasing this anxiety and I'm restoring my happiness and my faith in my job and my
Oh my
confidence and
gosh.
the fact that I'm sticking around forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, consider working with one of those. We have vigil candles for all of those too. So if you want to burn a spell, you could have something burning, for several weeks as these layoffs do or do not take place. Or if you wanted us to burn one for you, you can get 50% off with
Now's
code
the
spell work.
time. If you want us to do a spell for
Yeah,
you, they're on sale, 50% off. Oh my gosh, I'm adding up all the
it's
uh
been a good night.
yeah, I know.
I'm
All
gonna
right,
feed a lot of grannies this week.
Mel is next.
Hi, Mel. Oh, I love Mel so much. One of my favorites. Mel
Mhm.
says, will Monday night and Thursday night meetings be canceled? Please, thank you. Or suggestions to get rid of feet swelling. Or open to receive whatever message. Thank
Okay.
you.
All
And
right.
this is a 3 card
3
reading.
card. All right. So, I'm gonna do a crazy thing. I'm gonna look at the cancellation, then I'm with 1 card. I'm gonna look at the feet swelling with the 2nd card, and then open message on the 3rd card. How's that?
I love that.
Because we got those things are all over the place, and it's like it would be hard to look at all of them with all 3 cards, but we certainly can look at them with individual cards. Meetings are definitely canceled. Guess what card came up for the meetings? Guess.
Oh, I don't know.
They're
Five of
canceled? The meetings are
Wands?
canceled?
Oh. Yeah, that makes
Tower
sense.
card. Monday night, Thursday night meetings will be canceled. There will not be a meeting. Something may even happen to like be like the reason for cancellation. Like there may be something that's happening that's like canceling, and it might even be a little dramatic with the tower card showing up. But that's definitely like those meetings are canceled. Those meetings are not happening. Those meetings are not happening. It might be this might be somebody's caught a cold or something. I mean, it doesn't mean necessarily the tower's on fire or anything like that, but the meetings are canceled. That's for sure. Feet swelling, interesting. We have Ace of Cups, which is water energy, pure water. So to get rid of feet swelling, I would say look at what using water. You can probably look online and maybe there is like hot or cold therapy with water that you can do that will bring down the swelling. Do you know the cause of your swelling? If the swelling is due to inflammation, then look at the hot and cold use of water for bringing down the inflammation. If it's for some other reason, it may be water. If the feet are swelling because water is in your feet, then you need to figure out how maybe eat less salt or something like that, because that may be contributing to it. But water is your key answer. Water is the answer to bringing down the feet swelling. Love what I see. Eight of Pentacles. Step by step, growing your money tree, bringing your skill, increasing your money, increasing your skill. So this is like, I think about, I know you, I think, are you a yoga teacher? Is Mel a yoga teacher? Oh, it's like getting better and better, and as a teacher, improving and making more money. So it's really good. Yeah, it's a good one. But I love that. But water energy, it's interesting for the feet swelling.
That is really interesting. I'm picturing like two things came into my mind. One is those like fancy like at-home foot spas they sell online
Yeah.
that you can just put water, maybe some salt in. I see apples floating in those, and I never know why. So maybe Google why people put apple in their foot soak. But I also pictured just like laying in the bath with a good book and your feet up. Keeping them elevated might help as well.
Yeah.
And I think there's something to be said about like spending that time in the bath, because maybe this is related to stress in some way, and that'll help you to de-stress a little bit. That's something that I'm picking up on.
Yeah.
So finding ways that we can bring some calmness and some really like things that feel good and therapeutic into your day is going to be super, super helpful. I decided to pull a card too, and look what I pulled. The Magician.
Yeah.
So do some magic. And I think, if you are wanting to know what the cause of this foot swelling is, and the things we've suggested don't help, then do some magic to call in that perfect person who's going to be able to diagnose it, calling in the perfect providers who are going to be able to find you that perfect cure for it. The Magician is all about our ability to really manifest whatever it is that we want, and the only thing holding us back from that is our belief that we can't do it.
Mhm.
So believe in yourself. And me and Mel talked a lot, so I have like a little bit of inside knowledge here. And I just want to say that, like, if you're feeling stressed or overwhelmed or worried about these meetings or about your feet or anything else, just remember that stressed or overwhelmed is like a high vibration thought, right? Or energy. It has a lot of vibration, a lot of energy to it. It's not necessarily good energy, but it's up there. So at least you're not like down in the dumps of despair, unable to think about anything, right? You just got to work your way up a little bit further on that ladder, to another high vibration feeling that is more positive. And for me, I feel like being overwhelmed or being freaked out about something, I can kind of translate that into being excited about something, right? So like, you're worried those meetings are going to happen, instead get excited that they're not going to happen, or excited that they're not going to impact you, or whatever it is. But yeah, just like transforming your fear or your nerves into excitement or anticipation, because they are quite similar.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, I would be curious. I mean, obviously, we're not giving medical diagnoses, and you have to like find the cause if you know the cause, but you can also start with looking for water treatments, hydrotherapy.
Yeah.
Hydrotherapy can
Mm-hmm.
be really good. All right.
Yeah, or maybe
Vivian, what?
swimming could be good too.
What?
Even just going for a swim could be another good thing
I
too.
mean, even maybe drinking water and flushing it out, you know what I mean, can be a way
Yeah.
of doing that, you know. Um,
And Mel is a water sign too. So, just
oh,
tapping into that ability to be like water and to
yeah.
just flow on past things.
Love progress update from Vivian. Okay, let's see what we got here. Oh, I love this, Vivian. Look what we've got here. 10 of Pentacles and King of
Oh,
Pentacles, right?
that's perfect.
I've got amazing message for this. Okay, first of all, this is, if for those of you who don't know, this is the tree of life in Kabbalah, right? Kabbalah is Jewish mysticism system. It's a Jewish mystic system. And one of the concepts behind it is that the tree of life, which is these, I'm going to say it very simplistically, because I mean, believe me, with Kabbalah, you could go on and on and on and on and on. But it's this idea that we have a connection to the divine, right? A pathway. This is like we're down here on earth and we have a pathway to the divine through these stops on the way. Okay. Simplistic, but you get it. So another aspect of this card is we have this family here. We have grandpa, we have the husband and wife, we have the kids, we have the dogs. We have the dogs. Vivian. Vivian has a dog, I know, so that's why I'm emphasizing that. So think about like your pathway to pulling down divine blessings, right? Just think about that pathway, whether you work with the Kabbalah or you don't work with the Kabbalah, you can still understand that concept of we have a pathway to the divine. So think about pulling down those blessings, right? Gratefully pulling down those blessings of this relationship. Work with that spiritual energy. The other thing is with that family there, it's the ancestors. Talking to your ancestors, asking for your ancestors for your assistance and help, their assistance and help in bringing this relationship to the place that you want it to be. I don't see him going anywhere. I see him sticking around. I see him, I mean, there's even the building of the relationship with a King of Pentacles. So this is really open to you, but I do think you need to bring the ancestors and I think you need to do some spiritual work around it. And it can be visualization. I mean, I think there's so many paths to this concept that we see in the Kabbalah of the tree of life. It's like, how do we attain? We don't have to climb up there to be able to ask for it to come down to us, right? So do some spiritual work around it. Ask your ancestors for their assistance. He doesn't have an expiration date. In other words, there's no expiration date on this relationship. It isn't going anywhere, but we want to revitalize it, bring it back. So that's how you do it. What a beautiful reading. Love that. Beautiful reading,
Yeah,
beautiful person. Yeah.
absolutely. One thing I always think of or tell my clients when I pull that King of Pentacles in a love reading is if we look at the king in that card, he's really like lost in abundance, right? Like there's so much around him, you have to like hunt for his face. So this is about being really, really surrounded by something. And this is telling me that you are surrounded by love. There's so much love around you. Love is all around. You don't even have to fake it, Vivian. So start really focusing on that love that is currently in your life. And I know there's probably love between the two of you, so you can focus on that love that has existed and that remains between the two of you. But you can also focus on that love that you receive from your children, from your job, from your pets, from your friends, from all these different sources. Really focusing on that, being grateful for that is going to allow it to then multiply in this romantic department. So my magical suggestion for you is just be counting your blessings in terms of love and about how much love you're surrounded with. And, even when we're feeling lonely or low or not loved at all, this is the best time to do that. Because I know there's a lot of love headed in your direction, Vivian, from
Yeah.
all kinds of different sources and all different forms of love. So really just soak it all up and be ready to receive even more of it until you're surrounded like that King of Pentacles.
Yeah, I think it's also like you're just emphasizing a beautiful pathway to receiving those blessings, which is to be in gratitude, right? When we're in gratitude,
Mhm.
it's like saying thank you and more, please, right? Thank you and more,
Yes.
please, which is to acknowledge the blessings that we have, opens more blessings flowing to us. So, yeah, do that.
And hey, I mean, like working with your ancestors too, maybe you want to set up an ancestor altar. And whenever you see some development or some movement in this relationship, since you're asking them to help you with it, leave a little offering saying, thank you. I want some more.
Yeah.
That was exactly what I'm after. Now let's keep it going.
Yeah.
So, that could be another really powerful way to work within your home and help to transform your home into a beautiful little love nest for the two of you.
Yeah. I love that. I love that. All right, Devon. I think Devon's our last one. Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I got to get out of here. So I have a friend that is playing in a band down the street, and I need to go at 8, and I need to eat.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I have an expiration date here, right? Hi, feeding a granny thank you, Devon. Thank you, all of you guys. Thank you, Devon. You're feeding a granny. I hope you're following Yulia so you can see who you help. Taking a temperature for the week ahead. Thank you so much. Thank you, Devon. You are, my magical fairy forever, my magical fairy friend, little magical Gemini. All right. I think I need to have a conversation with you, Devon. Oh, by the way, you guys, coming up in September, I'm going to be teaching on a cruise, a witch cruise. Do you want to go on a witch cruise? This is what made me think of it, Devon, because you're in hospitality, you do all that hospitality stuff. Witch cruise. Who wants to go on a witch cruise with me and hang out with me for 4 days? It's not that expensive. It's actually really pretty cheap to go on. I think it's like $600 in a double cabin. Like you have to, like I think you have to be a
Yeah,
little
there were prices starting in like the 500s, I think.
500s, right?
I was really surprised.
For like 6 days or something like that on this. It's like we'll be at sea 2 days and traveling into Mexico, going down from New Orleans. You should come with me. Y'all should come with me. Start off in New Orleans and go on a magical cruise. Come on. I'll be teaching about mermaids and moon magic is what I'm going to be teaching about. So come and hang out with me. Have fun. The Love Boat. Devon, I'm talking to you. We can, and listen, you're going to need to go too, Buchanan, because we have to live out our Love Boat fantasies.
I know.
I've never been on a cruise before. I always think it's going to be like,
I haven't either. I'm kind of afraid of it, but if I was gonna go on one, it would be with
what are
you
you
because
afraid
you're the
of?
person. I don't know. I'm just a little afraid. I
Have you ever watched
like
The
B
Love
was saying
Boat?
last week.
How many
I've
Love
watched The Love Boat, but before I ever saw The Love Boat, I saw Titanic a bunch of times at a really young age. So it's still
Okay.
right here in my
All
head.
right. This is a
And we
Love
only ever
Boat
watched the
cruise.
second
We are
tape.
not crossing the Atlantic. We're not going to any place where there are icebergs. It is going to be so much fun. It is going to be fun. Oh my gosh. We all have to go.
I'm
Y'all
sorry, I
have to
shouldn't
go.
bring up icebergs during cruise
I
promotion.
want all of you who are here to go with me. All of you. You need to go.
Yeah, let's be witches at sea
Wait,
together.
we have to be witches on the water. Witches on the water. All right. Okay. First of all, 9 of Cups. 9 of Cups is saying you've got so much beautiful, lovely, wonderful stuff to appreciate in your life. Remember to be grateful for it. Be grateful for all the good things in your life. It's a wonderful practice. If you don't have a gratitude practice, start that gratitude practice this week. If you do have one, but you've let it slide a little bit, get back to it. If you already have one, add another one. Maybe it's um, add a little twist to it. Maybe you have a gratitude journal. Great. Keep doing your gratitude journal, but make a little post-it note with an affirmation about gratitude and put it around your house so you remember to say those affirmations, or put it on your phone with an alarm. One of my favorite ways to do. Make a little alarm on your phone that has an affirmation as the name of the alarm, and it will remind you to do those things, right? And remind you to be grateful. You can even set your alarm for 11:11 and make a wish at 11:11. But do some gratitude work, right? Do some gratitude work. Second card, dream big. World card, dream big. Dream big, right? Your big dreams are the dreams that move things forward, right? I know your big dream, Devon. Let's feed that dream a little bit. Maybe your other minier dream is to go on a cruise with me. Let's feed that dream. All of you need to come on that dream. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. Like, okay, I'm going to say this cruise, I don't have to do any selling for it. Like, they're not like you get paid by the people you bring or anything like that. I don't even think they really care if I bring anybody or like any of my people. That's the impression I'm getting. I'm saying this because I want to hang out with you guys on the cruise. This is purely selfish reasons. I want to hang out with you on the Love Boat, having an amazing time. Isaac will be our bartender. Cocktails on the Aloha deck. There's the link to the cruise, everybody. So that's why I'm saying, not because I have to do salesy things, not because I have to earn my keep. They're going to pay me whether nobody shows up. If I'm the only one, they're still going to pay me. But guess what? I want to hang out with you. I want to have fun. I want some of my friends there, right? Anyway, so dream big is the message for the world card. And so I think it's feeding your dream, Devon. I know what your dream is. Let's feed that dream a little bit. Let's take a little step. Let's go out and put it out there a little bit more. Let's feed that dream. Third card, the Chariot card, forward motion, mastery, moving forward, right? Going forward. You've got partners out there. I love this because this is like partnerships, forward moving and partnerships. So beautiful. So gorgeous. I love it. If this is even travel, like taking a little day trip, it doesn't have to be a big trip, but a little road trip over the weekend. If you're doing a little bit of travel this week, I don't know if it's possible. I don't know what the weather's like on the East Coast right now. Is it crappy right now? How is it?
I don't know about there, but here in New York, it's going to be really nice this week. We're finally getting like out of the 40s,
Oh,
so it's the
great.
perfect time to get outside.
Well,
And I'm guessing,
Devon's in
I know
that
Devon's not too
area.
far from me. Yeah.
She's in the New York area. So, yeah, take a little trip, go on a little drive, go somewhere, get out of the house. That's with this, but go with someone, take a friend with you. Take your kid with you, take a friend with you, but go out of the house with someone else and have some fun. Lastly, 9 of Pentacles. Yeah, this is about having fun as well, enjoying life. Like do this week, like I would say travel somewhere to something that is pleasurable and enjoyable. Maybe it is related to your dream, right? Could be related to the dream, enjoyable, pleasurable, could be good. I love it. Great week for you. Great week for all of you. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'll be back next week. We might be like half an hour later because I'm teaching a class. Sometimes that class runs 90 minutes instead of 60, but we'll be here. We'll pop in. If you want to find out when we're going to pop in here, if you're on, I think all of them, you can subscribe, but for sure, YouTube, you can subscribe and you can push the bell. Like if you see the little bell icon, that will give you a notification on your phone when we go live. So then you won't have to keep watching or checking. You'll just get the notification and you'll know we've gone live. Like and subscribe, like the kids say. Hit that like button and hit that bell, subscribe button, whatever the kids are saying. All right, you guys, you know what we did too? You know what that means? That means we are going to be helping 5.
We actually didn't hear you. Can you repeat it?
Oh, sorry.
Your microphone like made a weird noise right as you said the number. So
260, which means we're helping 6.5 grannies. 6.5 are going to get food. This is a big deal. This week has been really kind of like the donations were kind of not so great for the past week or so. You know, this is like the 2-year anniversary of the invasion of Ukraine. And it's like, honestly, we've got to this is a marathon, not a sprint. We got to help them get to victory. And this is one way we can help, which is to keep these cute little seniors alive and letting them know we care. So thank you guys so much. I so appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. I'm going to say thanks again to Nina, to Chandra, to Leslie, to Roger, to John Paul, to Michelle, to Healing Mind, to Adrija, to Mel, to Vivian, to Vaughn. Thank you guys so much for your donations. Thanks if you just came and hung out and just listened and hung out with us. We like that too. We appreciate you. All right, don't forget, next week will be it will be a Q&A only for Coven members, and we'll have a workshop about the spring celebrations. If you want to join me for this private Q&A that we have on the first Sunday of the month, you can join the Coven. There's where you join it. Don't forget our 50% off spell work. Use the code spellwork. It's on the first page when you go to parlorwonders.com, but you can also use this QR code and get some half price spell work. 100%, 50% off, but 100% awesome spell work. So, all right, you guys, have a great evening, everybody, and we'll see you soon. Bye.